Some crazy shit. Well, welcome to another live reading with your girl, the OG Wild Boy, Jane Sage. If you don't know, well, now you know. I'm going to be doing live readings occasionally. They're going to be at random ass times in the day, so your best bet is to subscribe and to put that bell notification thing on, and do what it do. When I come through, I come through. I also wanted to go ahead and let y'all know that I'm going to be doing $5 3-card pulls. So sometimes I'm going to be doing them for free. Sometimes they cost money. It just depends on what time you catch it and how I'm feeling on that day. But yeah, last time I felt like the readings were going pretty well and I was pretty happy about the outcome. So I might just do like free readings for the late night, because the late night crew really where it's at if you want the truth. But today we are going to be doing an Aquarius season general tarot reading. So I'm not going to say that this is specifically for Aquarius to watch out for, but more so for everybody to be mindful about moving into Aquarius season. This is just for like everybody, the energy of Aquarius season, because I feel like more often times than not, when people do like specific readings for specific astrological signs, it could be for more than that particular astrological sign because it's the energy of the time. But as we are about to get deep into Aquarius season, I figured it was time for me to pop out. I want to be more consistent with this shit, because you know how people gonna know, how people gonna see, how people gonna do anything if they don't watch your work, I guess. Everything in this realm seems to be built off of representation and presentation more than anything. So slowly but surely we're getting there. So for this particular reading, I'm only going to pull 5 cards because we're in the second month of this year, this far. 2021, full of fucking surprises. I will say that before I even start this shit. This year in general is about to be full of fucking surprises. You thought 2020 was trash? No, 2020 was a baby. 2021 is that bitch. Okay? Niggas happy about Joe Biden and all that shit. Kamala, whatever the fuck her name is, don't even realize that they're probably the 2 biggest bigots to have joined the fucking presidential office in my lifetime. I'm gonna say that. I only been alive for like 23 years. All right. Let's see what we're working with. You feel me? As I was saying, 2021 start off with this shit. This card is called The Village. It's got like a little flash on it, but you can kind of see it. Basically, in this card, you see dead bodies on the ground. The village is on fucking fire. Bitches is running around. Niggas is running around. We don't know where the threat or the enemy technically is. It's just total fucking utter chaos. Just think about when they started raiding African villages and started putting niggas on the slave ship. It's giving that kind of energy, you feel me? They coming to reap. I'm gonna read the definition off the book though, so people can formulate their own opinions about these as well as listen to mine, because I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just dipping into the collective energy and sharing that shit. Oh, a little back info about the cards that I'm reading off of. This is the Tarot of the Orishas. It's the one that's been resonating with me the most. I've had this deck for about like 4 years now, 3-4 years. All right, bud. The definition is upright. Irretrievable losses, destruction, rupture, or dismemberment. Lack of communication with and or from others. Self-punishment, guilt complex, masochism, danger of accidents, fractures, falls. Beware fire, fuels, and electricity. Take care of your body and home. Lavishness, vice, decay, and corruption. So, based off of that definition, and we're gonna roll into like the physical time period that we're in now. As we've been paying attention with, well, I'm gonna say I have been paying attention to the way that media has been going and the way that politics has been going and the way that people's mentalities have been deteriorating from 2020 to 2021, given the fact that a lot of people are stuck in their houses and they only feed their minds through social media and feed their minds through what they receive on television and stuff like that. Like, for example, yesterday I was watching something about ABC World News, and the first thing they pop up is there's a new UK strain of COVID. They don't tell you what it is, for real. They don't tell you how it affects people. Yeah, I'm still taking donations. I'll be taking them throughout the whole thing, but yeah, they don't tell you what it is. They don't tell you how it's affecting people. They don't tell you that you know, how it's getting to the United States if everybody has been banning travel and stuff like that. But it's just like scare tactic after scare tactic after scare tactic. And it's like when you take a little kid to like a haunted house for the first time, of course you tell them that it's fake, right? Or you might not even tell them that it's fake because you want them to be scared. But that's the point. You want them to be scared. I feel like that America has turned into like a fucking haunted house for its people. And that's why the first card we got is the village, because we're moving toward a path of destruction. We've already been separated, communication severed on a person-to-person level. On top of that, communication between people on a person-to-person level is now mostly about wearing your mask. And we're going back into that crab in a bucket, crab in a barrel type of syndrome, where, you know, everybody thinks it's for their safety and all that shit, but what it's causing is them to police one another and further create conflict in between one another because they're fearing for their fucking health and safety. But nobody's paying attention to the actual statistics and anything like that. And on top of that, a lot of niggas are getting laid the fuck off. Again, the economy is about to hit another slow point, dead point. A lot of niggas are about to use their motherfucking jobs, lose their motherfucking jobs. Again, like, all that shit is a continuation of what was happening last year, but it's gonna hit you harder this year. They expecting way more shit to go downhill. Like, nobody's really paying attention to it. And that's something we need to be mindful of in Aquarius season. Like, everything might seem like it's all cool and calm because, you know, there's always a quiet before the storm. There's always, you know, cool winds, a little bit of sunlight right before the clouds roll in and that wind start rocking that water and you need to get the fuck in the house. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there. Don't just last thing I'm gonna say about that is just be mindful more than anything. Keep people close to you, keep in contact with people. Do not get caught up in making money because money ain't gonna matter where we're going. They already trying to move to cryptocurrency and all that shit. Money is not going to matter where we're going. So people is your currency. People is your way of being okay. People is gonna be your light in the dark. Remember that. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. I really do. The next card we're moving into is Ten of Air. We got some more dead shit. You see all this on the ground? These are birds. Dead fucking birds. It seems like we're moving into bad omen vibes. But I already did like a 2021 reading before this one. So if you want to check that one out, this video is also up here where I get into depth, like real depth about 2021 in totality before January even hit. But this is specifically for like this month, moving into next month. Mostly this is focusing on communication and thoughts. That's what air usually is with, your thoughts. And you got to be mindful of how your thoughts affect your actions and affect the way that you communicate. But I'm going to read to you the definition of the book for 10 of air. So whenever anybody is doing tarot, let's just get this out the way. Fire is basically your passions, which is your emotions and thoughts put together. Air is strictly your thoughts. Water is your emotions. And then earth deals with materialism and materialistic stuff. So let's move to 10 of air. 10 of air upright. Economic and material ruin. Sad feelings, bad health. The protection of this card is not at all favorable. It speaks of ill omens and misfortunes of all kinds. Going back into the first card. This shit tied together completely. Like 2020, a lot of people felt like that was the year to boss up. A lot of people felt like, oh, things are getting harder. Let me work harder. Let me work smarter. Let me figure out how to do that shit, you know? But really what it was doing was further putting people into a mental trap because nobody was really paying attention to what was going on in the overhead. They got everybody so distracted on the person-to-person level that nobody's paying attention to what's going on the overhead. Like, for example, everybody still thinks that when we vote, we choose the president, but the president was chosen before the election even took place. Shit like that. Everybody thinks that COVID is more deadly than the flu, but COVID and flu are just about the same thing. If you catch COVID in conjunction with pneumonia or some shit like that, yeah, you might die because, nigga, that's full-on respiratory infection. But niggas are lacking that type of knowledge because nobody's paying attention to the overhead. Nobody's educating themselves no more. We gotten into this mindset where we're just supposed to make money. We're just supposed to do a slave mindset again, slave mentality again, you know, slaving for that money because you feel like that's what makes you successful. All they did was upgrade the motherfucking slave quarters. All they did was upgrade how much you get when you sharecropping and shit. That's all they did. We still motherfucking slaves in this shit. Like, wake the fuck up. This card is telling you right here, like, niggas are going to be trying hard to make money. Niggas are going to be trying hard to go work for somebody else. And that shit's not going to work because them niggas ain't going to be sharing the beans that they got because we about to get in motherfucking turmoil. They trying to transition from physical money, physical property into electronic because everything is going to be electronic. Like the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, as everybody been referring to this shit as, oh, we in the Matrix, oh, it's a game. This shit is becoming a motherfucking game, and it's motherfucking scary, okay? Be mindful of that shit. Your thoughts right now, you focusing on making more money, working for somebody, trying to get yourself a house, trying to get yourself a car, trying to get your mama this, trying to get your mama that. What you need to be focusing on is motherfucking community and not materialism. We literally, our hands, we can take these hands and make anything. We can take these hands, connect to anybody, and get whatever the fuck we need as a community. But that's the main thing. The village is separated. People are separated because of fucking COVID. They want everybody in their house. They don't want you going out. You can't be in groups of more than 6 people. They want you 6 feet away from each other. Y'all ain't even realizing how that limits your ability to feel other people's energy and whether or not to detect if a person is a threat or not. It's simple shit like that they stripping us of slowly but surely. And I can't even say us because I've just been watching this shit. Just trying to keep everybody on motherfucking edge without sounding like the crazy cat lady in the town. The next card, though, we're going to keep it pushing. It's dwarves and gnomes. Got this little ugly ass flash glare up here. But, yeah, so there you go. It's just this little gnome looking man, elf looking man sitting on a rock. Look like he in the stars and shit. Typically, when you see like gnomes, elves, and dwarves, that deals with like the earth aspect of things. So, we're going to read the definition from the book. Because again, I don't tell you what to do. I just tell you what's happening. I don't know if y'all can even hear what I'm listening to now, but it's like a instrumental album. I've been getting into those shits lately. They fire, like just straight instruments, fire. Cause I don't know, people ain't been talking about shit in their music lately, and it's repetitive, it's highly sexual, and it's weird. But upright. Because the earth is ancient, these elementals may represent very old, traditional, wise people. If you are a man, you will be wealthy with a resolute and stable spirit, very earthly characteristics. You will be financially successful. You have important contacts. If you are a woman, you will have a fighting, preserving spirit with deep self confidence. You will not stand for being disappointed by anybody. You will not accept deceit and or lies, and you will not be a partner to somebody else in it. Your economic situation is good, and you will know how to use it for the benefit of everyone. Okay. Oh yes, I'm doing a 3-card pull after I finish the 4 cards with the additional one for the whole Aquarius season. So yeah, it's coming up. I'm doing it all in the same video though. But yeah, so with this card in specific, it's just telling a lot of people about the type of situation that they are in now. A lot of people have come out of the situation where they were completely like struggling and stuff like that, but at the same time, a lot of people aren't aware that the ways that they think they are struggling, they aren't struggling, because a lot of it is just financial shit. And what financial shit is your ability to slave in this environment. A lot of people are refusing to be slaves anymore, you know? And the ones that are still slaving are slaving with a purpose. You have to have a plan behind why you're making money, what you're doing it for, and what that means for you and your environment. Like, you have to start connecting the dots and understanding how you're connected to everybody else. And we're literally riding the same band of frequencies, even though one person right here and up here. And like, that shit is crazy. Okay, no problem. Thank you. I'll make sure I get to that. But yeah, like, we're all in a bandwidth of frequencies that some people riding at the top, other people riding at the bottom, some people riding in the middle, you know, some people diving up and down. It just depends. A lot of people have a lot of things going on mentally as far as like their financial situation, because they automatically equate their finances to success. But in reality, you're successful as long as you got your hands and your mouth and all that shit, and you can communicate. You can communicate and get to what you need to get to, or get to where you need to get to, and who you need to get to. This card is talking a lot about the who's as far as the materialistic aspect. When we think about materialism, we often think about our clothes, hair, you know, nails, car, house, all that shit. But no, you got to start thinking about materialism in a different way, like manifestation. People went from taking clay to create houses and all that shit to refining that method down into a way where shit gets created in like 5 seconds, but it's lost its value and quality, you know. But nobody really cares about that because we're still focused on the money. Money, finances equals success. You got to change that. Who you know outside of the business world is really your success. We are not selling ourselves no more. Nothing, everything should not be marketing propaganda. Everything is not, you know, this fucking slave auction, because that's what the fuck it turned into. And this is where we need to be mindful of that. You need to start connecting yourself with your elders, connecting yourself with people that's actually going to uplift you mentally and push you in the right direction as far as that path. Like right now, more than anything, as people, especially in the motherfucking States, we need unity more than anything. Unification more than anything. Like, you see this shirt? You and I, reunion, nigga. We need that shit. Like, we need to reunite, reunion. You and I. You remember that song? Unity? You and I, TY. Yes, we need that shit. And that's what this card talking about. Dang, you scared the fuck out of me. Hola. Hola. Then the last card for this, we have something that could be represented as like Jesus and God, but I don't really fuck with religion like that. But just for, you know, understanding purposes. The one at the top is supposed to be Obatala. And then the one at the bottom is like technically you. And this card comes up to show you that basically you're protected in everything that you're doing. Even though during this particular time, it's like hella turmoil, hella like whack shit going on, a lot of shit that you might not understand. Your best bet is to lean on the people around you and remember that you are powerful, that you have everything that you need, and that, you know, everything is going to work out for you. to the best of your benefit, as long as you keep that in your best interest. This card always comes up just to say that, you know, you're protected, you're guided. But let's take a moment to truly talk about that religion for a second. When we think about religion, we need to let that shit go in any and every aspect. Religion is just a set of morals and standards used to control the way that you look at the world, communicate, and how you view yourself as an individual. Nobody talks about how sickly it is, though. How people say you should put God first, but they can't identify what God is or who God is. For the longest, I just thought that God, you know, was some dude sitting in this golden chair in heaven. Then later, my ideologies about God started to transform into, okay, maybe God isn't a physical person because God is all of us. Maybe they say that we're made in God's image because we are God. All of us put together working on the same fucking frequency creates what we want to create, and we exist the way that we want to exist. But when you take God and you attach some unidentified face to it, unidentified place to it, then I feel like there it becomes a mode of transportation for control. Everybody wants to have something to believe in. Everybody wants to have some place to escape. Everybody here is so ready to motherfucking die. they don't even understand why they want to die. Like we feel like we're suffering here, and the truth is because we are allowing our circumstances to push us into the position to suck. Like, for lack of better words, we still living in a slave mentality, and we still bicker amongst each other on a social level that we don't even get to see the bigger picture as a group of people. Because once one person starts telling y'all that there are wolves among us, y'all niggas start looking at that person like the wolf and throw the rocks. And we gotta stop that shit. Like, we are being divinely guided. Like right now, I am divinely guiding y'all thoughts and all that shit. I'm not just doing this shit to be making money or no shit like that. I'm not just doing this shit to, you know, put my image completely out there. But this is because I'm moving towards an actual reunion as far as us as human beings. I'm pushing for a revitalization of an actual village lifestyle, because the way that we are living is not benefiting any of us. It's creating more than what people need, and people can't access what they need because there is a gap between, you know, impoverished and people who actually make money. And there are people in place and control to control that shit. Like, niggas don't even think about the fact that you can only make a set amount of thousands of dollars in a year. You got to plan your whole life around how much money you make in a year, what type of car you drive, how much you pay in a car note, how much you pay for car insurance, what type of clothes your kids can wear. All that shit is capped. All that shit is chosen for you. And yeah, they might have placed all these motherfucking options out here. Option. You got Target, you got Walmart, you got Kohl's, you got this, you got that. It's still controlled. You don't make those clothes. This shit, you don't even make the food that come into the markets. Hell, y'all buy motherfucking food that come out of boxes before you sit down and actually take the ingredients out the ground to feed yourself and your family. Shit like that. We're fucking domesticated cattle. Okay? Fuck sheep, cattle. And I'm gonna pull one more card to close this off. And we got 10 of water. So this card, you got the fish being caught. You got all the moons and the ship. It seemed like a very serene scene, very serene image. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Might I say, might I add. I'm going to read to you the definition of the book. Because, you know, I like people to have their, correction. Not 10 of water, 9 of water. Excuse me. Sometimes I can't read the Roman numerals because the Romans weren't fucking real. But anyways. Upright. Prosperity and profits and love. We begin to harvest the fruits of good sowing. The mind goes hand in hand with the heart. There is no imbalance between the emotions and the mind. We are very close to complete happiness. Our physical welfare is evident when these factors are found in combination. Okay. So basically, the last card is saying that people really need to follow their hearts. and really clear your mind so that you can be guided in the way that you need to be guided by. A lot of people aren't even guided by their own thoughts because their thoughts aren't their own, you know? Nobody's really thinking for themselves because everything thinks for us. And nobody really pays attention to that. And now is a time where you have to pay attention to that. Like, going back to the first card, the village was already on fire in 2020, but it's still burning in 2021, and niggas is acting like it's not burning no more because of COVID, because everybody's in their house, because, you know, nobody's talking. The communication is slowly dwindling between everybody, but not to the point where it's like complete and total desperation. Yeah, they cut us off from talking to each other outside and all that shit, but we have a choice. And that's this card coming up, reminding us that we have that choice to connect with people on a social level and connect to people's energies and spirits and stuff like that outside of what they're talking about in the overhead, because the overhead is just scare tactics. They just put that shit out there to scare folks. They just want you to be scared. That's it. That's it. Like, that's it. And this card telling you ain't shit to be scared of, because we, the people, we are the power. And when they said we the people in the fucking Constitution, they was not talking about us, okay? In the Constitution, when they say we the people, they talking about all the rich folk. We not even considered citizens. We're civilians. There's a difference, okay? Remember that. Because when they start doing martial law and all that shit, because people are going to start protesting and all that shit again. And it's not just going to be the white MAGA folks. Everybody about to start protesting and shit again. I promise you. They probably going to kill another 2-3 black people in different states, probably the ones where they got the most turmoil, like Chicago or some shit, just so they could send out martial law and start putting the muzzle on them cities, because those were where people act out the most. I wouldn't even be surprised if they decided to do something here in Atlanta, because, you know, everybody was talking about Atlanta since COVID started. We ain't stopped. Say shit, but what you talking about? They didn't make designer masks and all that shit. Still in the clubs, still smoking the hookahs, still going to the strip clubs. You know, everybody trying to bash and all that shit, but reality of it is you can't keep people away from people because people need people. And you align your thoughts and your emotions to guide you in that way, we gonna all reach what we need to reach. You just have to be open. You have to be willing. You have to be wanting to create unity amongst your community, amongst people. We can't be dependent on the government no more. We about to reach an area in our time period where it's going to be a dead zone, like total fucking anarchy and shit. We got to pay attention. Wake the fuck up. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap that up right there, and I'm gonna start getting into the 3-card pulls. So far, I got one, and it is for Erie. Will my future girlfriend be one of my big supporters on my music journey? Well, let me see. Let's see. We're gonna do the 3 cards for you and find that out. You feel me? You have a pretty name, by the way. Erie or Airy. That's an interesting question. Since we are moving into love season, you know what I'm saying? But this year really should be love season all year long. Because last year was really the time for us to have love, and we didn't. So a lot of fucked up shit was going on last year. A lot of people were losing their jobs. A lot of people batting their eyes. A lot of people started moving more into social media just for the fame of it instead of for actual communication and support of one another. Because a lot of niggas lost their jobs and shit, you know? A lot of niggas was losing houses. People losing family members. A lot of shit was going on, and that was like the time where love needed to be spread the most. So continue that in this year, you know, spread the love. Keep the vibes immaculate. But in this particular deck, one of the guys, well, 2 of the guys they have that are good for love. You got Pombagira. She's mostly sounding like Santeria or like Brazilian shit. She's a female version of Eshu, and she represents like love and fine things, beautiful women. And then you got Ochun. She's from Ifa, the Yoruba. religion. And Ochun basically represents love, baby making, you know, sweet like honey, brown like chocolate, you feel me? She's a very beautiful entity, said to bring niggas to their knees without even saying shit, you feel me? Aspiration to be like her. But yeah. Get this reading out from my, I'm guessing you're a girl. I'm gonna say you're a girl, but if you're not, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna go with little dude. Do this reading for little dude. That's my new favorite like word to call people now. Little dude. It's just so ambiguous. Like I don't know who thought dudette was a good. I think dude, you know, represents everybody. Like nigga. Nigga to me means like male and female. Like that's why I just be saying nigga all the time or niggas. I'm not talking about just inherently black men. I'm talking about everybody in general because everybody motherfucking ignorant. And that's what nigga meant, right? Ignorant black person. But if everybody came from Africa, we're all black, so everybody's a nigga. Ignorant. Let's see what he's talking about, cuz. 3-card pool. 5 of air. Huh. So you got 2 water cards and 1 air card. So off rip. It's more so dealing with emotions than thoughts. And you wondering if they'll support you, be a great supporter of your music. Let's resort to the bit. See if we can make sense of this. So remember, when we get air, air is thoughts, water is emotion. So our first card is 5 of air, reversed. So I'll show it to you upright so that you can see it. You got some cranes and shit grazing. I'm not grazing, they're not cows. You know, it's a watering hole and shit. It just kind of seemed like a somewhat serene picture, like. But 5 of air reversed. Extreme envy and greed. Negative ambitions, sorrow. You might, are you talking to somebody right now? Because if you're talking to somebody and like you already have the person in mind that you want to date, you might need to be a little more cautious. That's just assuming if you already know who they are. But if you haven't met them yet, you haven't talked to them yet, whoever is about to come into your life, you need to be cautious as far as it comes to like your music career and stuff like that. Because I'm not gonna lie, when you get into a relationship with somebody, especially when you're an artist, your shit is going to become influenced by them, especially if you really put your emotions into that person. So you need to be careful, okay? Your thoughts are gonna be all fucked up, and you probably ain't even gonna release the music that you want to release and shit. But then, on the other hand of things, it could also be talking about you and the way that you're thinking about the way that your music and all this shit is going to go. You know, what are you doing it for? What's the purpose behind it? The next card we're gonna move into is 8 of water, reverse, but I'm gonna show it to you upright. You got this fat ass octopus attacking the ship, but it's reversed. And let's see what the book got to say about that. That's 8. Upside down. Possibility of reflection and reviewing things and abandoning worldly and mean things to reach spiritual rejoicing. Otherwise, instead of victimizers, we will become victims of our own deeds. Does a ship trapped by a huge octopus seem like the result of an excessive imagination or a tale by Jules Verne? Perhaps it may be possible as real as many other things he wrote. I'm gonna hold off on the explanation for that one. I'm gonna get into the third card to see what see what's going on, because that one is throwing me for a loop. But it's overall it's saying, you know, you need to watch yourself. Be very attentive to yourself. The third card we have is Three of Water. And you got three fish swimming in a circle, like a cycle. The same fish swimming in a circle like a cycle. I'm gonna read the definition for you. It's upright. Victory, good fortune, possibilities, favoring, triumph, success, and prosperity. Things end as they started. The effect comes from a positive cause that will bring us pleasure and emotional stability. Okay. So now with that, it seems more so as if the cards are telling you to reevaluate like your thoughts as far as like your goals and what you're doing music for and what you even want a relationship for. Like that is really going to be the true determiner of whether or not they're going to support your music or even be beneficial to you in a relationship. And this card is showing that, you know, you might already be having a victim mindset when it comes to relationships. So it's more so, you know, are you ready to have someone support you in that way? Are you ready to actually experience that? You know, are you open for that? Because the Five of Air is like you kind of in this place where, you know, you've been brushing with danger, playing with danger as far as it comes to relationship, as far as it comes to your artistry, as far as it comes to you actually, I guess, being you in your fullest capacity. And worrying whether or not someone is going in a relationship is going to, you know, help you propel further into your future as far as your own artistic endeavors, is going to set you back. But if you're mindful of that, you have the potential of breaking a cycle. But if you're not, you're going to, you know, keep starting the way that you ended and ending the way that you started. And that might not necessarily be the best for you, you know? So to answer your question, if is your future girlfriend going to be one of your biggest supporters, that's truly up to you. And you really evaluating what you want and need out of a relationship, because that in itself is going to tell you whether or not they're going to be able to provide and support for you in that way. Artists need very special love, very special. And you have to make sure you see that and get that for yourself. 100%. So, you know, worry more so about actually having love and cultivating a relationship where both of you can be uniquely you in totality. And you will get what you need. You know what I'm saying? Always and forever. With that, I'm going to pull one card to guide my mode of conversation next. And then after that, we're going to end this bad boy. Unless somebody else wants to do a 3-card reading. But if not, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna put it under this video too, but under my other videos, I have a link for tarot readings and also spiritual like healing and stuff like that. If you're wondering what that is, I have videos that describe it in depth as well. I do spiritual retreats at nature reserves or nature parks. Sometimes I'll come to your house. It just depends. It could range anywhere from us doing a tarot reading, talking about your problems. It's like, or like to a goddess or god bath, because I could do it for either or, and even sitting in circles with candles and stuff like that. It just depends on what you need in that moment. Because shit, it'll even turn into a therapy session, because that's really what it is. You think about therapy. Therapy is really just communication to the soul and for the soul and helping other people's souls. And that's what I'm here. I'm here to guide our souls to a different, you know, direction, a different era. Because this shit, this shit gotta stop. But let me pull this last card. See where this conversation is gonna take us. because this is Confessions of a Black Girl as well. And if you don't know, now you know. I'm your host, Jane the motherfucking Sage. And if you don't know what sage means, sage comes up often in the natural community, holistic community now as something people burn to get rid of the bad vibes. But sage is also a term used to describe, someone who encompasses a lot of qualities of, I guess you could say, a great leader. Because there happen to be great artists, great educators, philosophers, theorists, all that shit wrapped into one. And I feel that way about myself. Ain't nobody. Well, I actually did get named Jane the Sage. I got the name Jane the Sage when I was working at the strip club. Because originally, it's like, what's your name gonna be? I was like, Jane. It's gonna be my name. They was like, oh no, it's a white girl already named Jane. So it's okay. I need some time to think about it. And the girl looks at me and she said, you know what? You look like a sage. And I was like, okay. I'm a sage then. The Sage. Sage. And that's my stripper name. But Jane the Sage is my name in totality. AKA the Afro Bay. So let's see where conversation is about to take us now. Because I've been ranting about 2021 in the past 2 videos. I'm probably still going to be ranting about 2021 because niggas need to be more fucking aware. Like, we live the same life year after year and don't shit motherfucking change. And this is the card we pulled. The motherfucking enslaved prisoner is guiding our conversation. So let's see what the book has to say about that. Because if you look at it, this nigga not only in chains, but he's strapped to a stick like Jesus. They got him shackled up, tied up. But I mean, I guess at least his nuts are covered up and he on the beach, right? No, not right. That's the way niggas is looking at life for real. I mean, at least we could go make money and, buy what we want to buy. No, nigga, you buy what they want you to buy. Because if you knew what you wanted, you would go out and make it with your own fucking hands. Niggas is pussy. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I bet. Upright. You are the victim of defamation, gossip, and felonies around you. Strengthen yourself. You will need it because your surroundings are exerting pressure on you. You will be subject to unjustified moral, physical, and or spiritual punishment. You are not allowed to be or to do. Loneliness, execution, suffering, everything is hard to attain. Sacrificial and difficult at the same time. Laments, hardship, retaliation, and binding. I almost spoke a different language. About to start speaking tongues in this bitch. But basically, the gist of this card is kind of like going back into what I was ranting about in the beginning, as far as like Aquarius season in 2021 in a nutshell. This period of time, they moving into isolating us as individuals from other individuals because, everybody believes that social media and media is the world, when in reality, probably only a good fucking 55% of the world actually have fucking access to the internet. And that's because those are the people that have money. The mode of communication and transportation these days is fucking currency, not intelligence, not willpower, not, goodwill. No, none of that shit. It's fucking currency. Whether that's pesos, dollar bills, all that shit. They isolating niggas. So now, last year they started separating you from your jobs. They literally killing off niggas' family members. They is what else are they doing? Keeping everybody in their house. They're making other people in our community overseers of other people in our communities. And I can't even say our communities because we're not in control of our communities. We don't control our local or state governments, even though we give them money. Like, they control us because of fear. But the reality of the situation is we're only enslaved to them because we decided that, slavery was better. We feel like we as people don't have enough fucking sense to take control over our environment enough to put our local and state governments into check or even fucking dismantle them. People can't even fathom that fucking thought. because we're all fucking prisoners. And we moving, we weren't, you know, shackled up to a fucking stick at first, but we moving into being shackled up to a stick. Right now, we're shackled to American soil. You're born in America, especially if you motherfucking black and you live in poverty, you most likely ain't getting out the state that you motherfucking was born in, okay? My grandma ain't never left this goddamn state. Ain't never left this state. And shit like that just blows my mind. Like little things, they control little things like that. You don't make enough money to even have access to cars or, you know, airplane tickets, buses, none of that shit. Because somebody said, you know, you need this much money for this to happen. And not only did they keep increasing inflation, they never changed how much people make. So now, you know, it's still only working out for the rich. And that's the whole like prisoner mindset of it all. We're living in like a fucking social experiment. We are not free. And we keep walking down this path thinking that the government has our best interests. We will continue to not be free, and we will move into complete and total anarchy. Wars are going to start amongst communities. People not going to be able to make the money that they need to make. Niggas are going to start robbing Walmarts and shit. It's going to get hectic. And they're going to use excuses like that for creating, for like Cart was saying, our environment is going to be applying mad pressure. It's already started applying pressure in 2020. Niggas was already losing their shit. Like, after they killed fucking George Floyd, and then they started going on fucking raids and rants in different cities, and nobody is even talking about the fact anymore that they sent out the police and shit, and the police are literally murdering niggas that have no weapons. They're murdering niggas on and off the screens. We're fucking prisoners, okay? And I just feel like we really need to wake the fuck up. Like, I know a lot of people say wake up. I know a lot of people tell you that, and I know it comes out a lot of folks' mouths. Wake up, but they never tell you how, right? Well, here's the motherfucking how. First and foremost, what you need to do is go and make actual physical connections with people that have things that you might need in a physical way. Connect with people that, you know, have access to cars or might have access to knowledge. Like, find niggas that know how to plant shit. Find niggas that know how to till soil. Find niggas that are willing to, you know, build a house if they need to. Know how to, you know, get out here, read information out here, and actually use it to their benefit. Like, niggas are trying to wait for the fucking National Guard, you know, X-Men type shit to come, and now is the time to actually be thinking in reality, thinking relative to our situations, and thinking about how we can physically manifest something that is different from what they have given us. Because what they have given us is false. It's fake. It's fad. Niggas care more about making money, spending money, having fake body parts, fake hair, and fake nails than they do about actually revitalizing the land that we live on. Like, let's take the environmental issues, for example. It could be as simple as everybody learning how to recycle, or neighborhoods coming up with whole compost piles so they don't have to like throw food in the trash and strictly stick to recycling plastics and stuff and send it to the places that, you know, do shit like that. But something as simple as that keeps whole communities separated. One, because we have options, and two, because, you know, some people don't even have the opportunity to even give a fuck about shit like that. And that comes in with, you know, working, that slave mentality. If you only wake up to go get money because you have to get money to take care of yourself and everybody else, what are you going to do? Go and get money because nobody ever taught you differently. And it's little things like that that keeps you shackled. It keeps you, you know, mindless in a situation where you must be mindful. And my aim, and not even my aim, what I am doing and what I'm going to complete and accomplish is actually moving us back into a village type lifestyle. I mean, everybody ain't got to live in a hut, but shit, your house should be somewhat sustainable to the earth. Like, it don't make sense to me that we build buildings that outlast generations. We still live the same way that niggas lived in the 1800s. The school system has not changed, yet we're evolving every day. We have to fundamentally look at ourselves as a species that has been on decay for hundreds of years due to the fact that we've sold ourselves to a form of currency, a mode of transportation, that is easily controlled and manipulated, so much so that they're starting to move it online so that nobody can have physical control over it outside of the government. You have to be mindful of that shit. Everything is going downhill pretty fast, okay? This cryptocurrency, niggas want to trade Forex, niggas want to, move with Cash App and all that shit. All they're doing is making sure that you don't see no physical exchange between you and another person. They want some way, some shape or form to have, interjection, a connection in that shit. It's always going to be attached to the overhead. Like, for example, a lot of people think going to go get their own businesses, you having your LLC, that's you making your own money, but you still have to pay taxes on that LLC. You still have to, show paperwork. You go and file your taxes so you can get a tax return on the taxes that you motherfucking paid. Instead of just not getting that shit on paperwork and just exchanging goods or services amongst you and your neighbors. But they instilled that fear in you that somebody's going to steal your business model, somebody's going to steal your plan. Now you got to go do the tax work on it. Now you got to go and do the copyrights. Now you got to go and do all this other shit because of the fear associated with that shit. Everybody in Atlanta wants to be, their own hairstylist, clothing designer, makeup artist, this, that, and the third. But nobody is like coming together to put everybody together for real. Everything has to be about making money. And that's the true determiner, the true differentiator, the true separator, that mode of currency. Because that is also what prevents us from actually physically helping one another. People who need help think that they need money, when in reality, they need actual food. They need actual clothes. They need an actual place to stay. Nobody's willing to open their doors. It's little things like that that really put into perspective how sick our society is, how enslaved we are to our own thoughts, our own system, our own way of living. And moving more into the future, I'm going to be offering more information on how to actually change your environment and change your situation. But like the very first step is literally connecting with people. I'm doing shit like this to connect with people. I'm hoping to meet a lot of people that could fulfill a lot of skills that need to be fulfilled as far as moving into a new type of society and situation for people as a whole. I want the new mode of civilization to be beneficial for everyone and not just, what I think is best. I want it to be something that we all think is best. And yeah, I think I've said enough today about all of that. I hope this resonates with somebody, and I hope, it touches somebody's soul. Oh, and while we're here, check out United Souls on Instagram. That's where this shirt come from. You got to look at that. Check that out, because that's the whole mission, It's about us moving forward, not the United States, but United Souls. And with that being said, I'm Jane the Sage. This has been fun. If you want, check out my other videos. Also, remember, I do tarot readings and all that shit in my personal time. You just have to do the Google Forms and Cash App your nigga. You feel me? Sometimes I do free readings, but I be live like in the middle of the night. That's when they be free. Because the late night crew be live, okay? So join me in the late night crew. That's usually anywhere from 12 a.m. to fucking 4 a.m. We be on. Yeah, so thank you for coming. Thank you for checking out this video. If you just popped in, be sure to look at the whole thing. Go check out my other videos. I really appreciate your time and your thoughts and your energies. And remember, we are looking for unity and unification in all areas, and we must leave currency behind. Stop being afraid of COVID because the shit's not fucking real. And yeah. Oh, can't forget. Black power. Niggas.